Ladies and gentlemen, Kym Lincolne.
Every year in northern Queensland on the eastern coast, there are prestigious yacht races. And every year all of the yachties travel up north to go and compete in these races, namely Early Beach Race Week and Hamilton Island Race Week. And these are quite the events. When you get up there, every day you are racing out in these beautiful surroundings, weaving around islands, competing. Sailors are very competitive, and so there are rules and there are manoeuvres and there are people yelling, and you have to get out of the way and go up and get down and leave me some water. And everybody tries their hardest to get a podium win and to win the race. And then at night, when everybody returns back to the Hamilton Island Yacht Club, when they're all tired and they've been competitive all day, the stories start flowing and the drinks start flowing and the band starts playing. And they're just fantastic weeks. Now, my partner and I have a 41-foot yacht, and that yacht is up there every year. It's called B-52 and it's themed like a B-52 bomber. And my partner's very competitive, so it's got a presence there. And then at the end of these race weeks, we have to then deliver the boat home. So my partner and I 5 years ago, with another husband and wife couple who came with us and had been competing with us, we set off after a great week and hit the waters, clear blue skies, flat water, just a beautiful time to just sail back at our own pace to get back to Brisbane where our boat lives. After a couple of days, the waves and the wind started to just roar up. And I don't know if you've ever been on the seas when it's like that, but when the waves are coming up and the boat, we have to steer it to the side and then over and then steer down and then up again. You've got to steer to the side and down. And when you've been doing that for a few hours, it's exhausting, and the crew is ready to go and find a secluded little place to anchor up for the night. And believe it or not, I still get seasick on trips like this. So we were very happy to find Pearl Bay, a beautiful little bay with a little island in the middle, pristine beaches. And we anchored it up, and there's a theme here with sailors. Every time the anchor goes down or you hit the dock, the wine comes out, the cheese platters come out. We sat there, we were relaxed, we felt really relieved to just have some peace. There was an eagle that was swooping down. My partner is an animal lover, he's throwing meat into the water. We're watching the eagle go back into the tree and eat it, and we felt really great. Our friend went down and got his phone, given we were just back in reception. And when he got his phone, he realised he had about 10 missed calls from his sister. And he was immediately worried. And we were all sitting in the cockpit just relaxing, and we heard his phone call. It was sombre, it was serious. He was trying to placate, he was trying to understand. And when he got off the phone and put his phone in his pocket and sat back down, he said, "My 17-year-old nephew has just committed suicide." And we sat there, we had no idea what to do. All we could do was hold the space. All we could do was just say how sorry we were and ask him how he was, ask how his sister was. And there was nothing more to be said. As we sat in a bit of silence and tried to just pick out anything beautiful in the environment to lift our spirits a little bit, it was time to eat, time to go to bed, and time to prepare for another day on the ocean the next day. Now, because we'd been delayed in our trip back, I had to get off at Yeppoon and then fly back to Brisbane, and because I had work. And when I got back to Brisbane, I was sitting in the kitchen and having a conversation with my beautiful daughter, who at the time was about 18, and she was telling me about her life, her friends. I hadn't seen her for a week, and then she mentioned her ex-boyfriend from a year or so ago, and she said, "Mum, I just thought I should tell you that his funeral is next week." This is her ex-boyfriend, a young man, and I burst into tears. I knew instantly that he was another young man who had committed suicide. And I texted my partner, who was still on his way down with the other two lovely people. And it was only then, when Dan told them about this, that we realised that this was one and the same young man that I'd actually experienced hearing about his suicide twice. What dawned on me at that point, and in the last 20 years of really trying to understand myself and others, is that sometimes it's hard to stay. Sometimes it's hard for people to stay. But when I realised that everything in life is just so transient, everything, our thoughts, our feelings, the drama, the pressures, the stresses, that everything is so transient in life, that there is actually one thing that stays, and that's us. It's me, that through it all, I stay, and I'm just life, and I'm just here to experience life, and he taught me that. This young man, I hadn't seen him a lot in his life. He'd come over for family dinners, he had enjoyed just time with our family. I knew that he'd been troubled. I remember at one point, at about 2 a.m. in the morning, I remember taking my daughter, because she was so worried about him, to just go and check on him. But we didn't expect that he wouldn't want to stay. So at some strange level, I had this commitment to him that I was going to make the most out of my life, and that I thought his life was precious, but that it really taught me to treat life with even more value, even more that it was a gift. So yesterday, as I'm sitting and having another chemotherapy session, after being diagnosed with cancer and all of the scary stories that come with it, and 3 months of diagnoses and being warned about the future and being told about potential life expectancy and all of that stuff, I've learned how to stay through that and just let it all pass, and to just really be grateful that I'm here, that I'm alive, that I've got this life, and that there's nothing really required of me other than to find joy and to do it. And I will dedicate that to that young man and all of the people who may consider at times not staying. Thank you.